So, hello, Poulomi,
Hi.
and welcome to my very first
Thank you. Thank you
talk
for
here.
having me.
I'm really super excited, a little bit nervous too, to be honest.
There's nothing to be nervous
I
of.
know,
It
I know.
really is just, you and I can like talk for hours. It's always been that way.
That's true. That's very true. So, yeah, so this is our very first talk about travel and happiness and, how we find our spark. And yeah, so to the people that don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm from Switzerland. I love traveling. I am a kitchen designer and a happiness coach. Coming happiness coach. I'm really super excited to get this starting. And yeah, today I have a very special guest that I know since a couple of years. And yeah, like,
4 years now?
yeah,
Four?
probably.
Yeah, 4 to 5 years, I think.
Yes, and I found her through my love to India, and through my love to social networks or social media through Instagram. We met, and we met in real life a couple of times now, and yeah. So this is Poulomi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing good. Life's been really busy, but I really enjoy being busy. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and you have a very special profession, job, passion. I think you made your passion your job, right? What is it?
So what I do now is actually my second career. I used to teach English literature before this here in India in a university, and it's during the pandemic that I moved towards visual art. So now, after 3 years of uh, doing art almost every day, I have been able to establish my own art brand, and I am a full-time artist.
That's so
So
amazing.
this was a passion which I kind of went back to during the pandemic and followed it through little by little until one day I it was pretty clear to me that if I don't choose to walk down this path, I am always going to sit and wonder if I made the right choice. So here I am.
Yeah, I so
Right now.
love this. I mean, one of the things is that I love your art. It's just freaking amazing.
Thank you so
I
much.
will put the link below so you can go check out all of her social medias and order some cool art. And yeah, and what I love most is that you made your passion your job, your income, your main income. This is something that I really like. I really look up to you for that. Honestly,
Thank you. That's a very kind thing to say.
really, that's something I don't know. I think everybody. I believe that everybody should be able to live from their passion. Because then it doesn't really feel like working. I guess.
But it's actually, a little more nuanced than that. I would say we often read about these things that, like if you're following your passion, then you won't ever feel like you're working. And a lot of that is true. But I also feel that there is an entire layer of, uh, complexities around turning your passion into a hobby that we don't really talk about so much. It takes a lot of I guess thinking and being able to withstand criticism to be able to turn your passion into a profession, because when you're doing it as passion, you're doing it for yourself. But the moment you open it out to other people, you're opening something which is absolutely sacred to you, to other people's comparisons and judgments, and sometimes that can be harsh. And it's very important, it becomes very important for you to have your uh, like your personal happiness at the core of your being in order to be able to pursue this, because sometimes things can get really hard to deal with when it comes to like people having an opinion about what you do, people not liking things that have your heart and soul in them,
Yeah.
also adapting what you create to other people's whims and fancies sometimes. So yeah, I'm sure like everybody who's exploring their passion now in a professional space faces these issues as well, but these are not mostly talked about so much.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, like people always have their opinion, right, about everything, and if it's something you created, it can probably hurt as well too.
It's hard not to take that personally, so that like that requires a lot of self work on your behalf. um
To kind of like
I think.
guard
Yes.
yourself, like
Yes.
like their
Exactly.
opinion doesn't count.
Personally. Yes.
Like, yeah, you have to know
To
what.
not take it personally, like to ground yourself and understand that uh, their criticism is not a personal thing. It's a professional thing,
Yes.
and to separate, like the personal and the professional in that respect.
Yeah, yeah, and especially nowadays with the social media, right? I mean, I can see that through my account too. There was one thing I once posted that was a bit controversial, and they were like people either loving it or hating it, and it also got me to a point, like a moment of like, what the heck, like like I didn't do something wrong, but and I spoke my truth, but
Absolutely.
then it was like, and then suddenly it was like, no, like this is my thoughts and they value, this is what I want to say, that like it is valid.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And I think to have that sort of groundedness requires a lot of understanding of who you are as a person and what your values align towards, because social media can be a very scary space, I feel,
yes.
especially for women creators. And because the the kind of trolling that you can be subjected to if you post something which is even a little bit controversial. Sometimes it doesn't even need to be controversial. Like we women constantly face comments on our body, comments on, the fact that you are a traveler. I'm
Yes.
sure you like random things from people about traveling in different parts of the country, like, it is not safe for you, it is not like a good place for a woman to go to. And social media, I feel, amplifies all of these opinions that people hold, where I think they feel like they are entitled to their opinion on your life,
Yeah,
which is very difficult territory to kind of, be a part of, because it does impact your mental health if you are not careful.
it does.
you
Yeah.
you end up overthinking on things, like you said that, like it was something which was your truth and you put it out, but then there were people who were like, like, why, how can you say that, and all of that.
Yeah.
And that can be really toxic at times, especially, like when combined with other things in our life, like all of us are working a job and have like responsibilities, bills to pay, and on top of that we go to social media as an escape. And then if somebody comes and something mean there, it just feels, the world feels really, really mean.
Yes, yeah, and especially if you're not, I think if you're not like strong enough, or you're not in a strong place, or in a sensitive space.
You are in any form of self-doubt, and I
Yeah.
think all of us do have
Oh,
ample amounts of
definitely,
self-doubt.
definitely. No one is
Others
without
a
that.
lot. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no one. And yeah, I also think it can be like a really dangerous place, also for younger folks. I had this discussion just with a friend with her 13-year-old teenage daughter, and I was like, oh, like try to protect her as much as possible. But we all know you can get everything online, everything within 2 clicks. And
And I feel like as a person, if you are even a little bit insecure, no, social media will create such difficult standards for you in terms of everything, in terms of, your body goals, in terms of your lifestyle goals, in terms of your professional goals, because nobody is putting out the ugly side of their life or the difficult side of their life on social media.
yes,
We are on any at any given point of time comparing the zeros of our days with somebody's hundreds, and then feeling constantly inadequate that we are not earning enough, we are not traveling enough, we are not uh, looking good enough, we don't have like a great relationship or a
Yeah.
great marriage,
Yeah.
like a great family, everything,
Everything.
everything. They pressure for everything to be great
Yeah.
because that's what people are putting out there.
Of course, like
And
nobody puts up like shows everybody, look, these are all the bills I have to pay. This, like showing their good morning face. Not, well, maybe then it's not like a good morning face, but it's like, like, yeah, we all wake up, like looking like a mess. Nobody wakes up and looks like perfect.
and if you see all of these creators also, like creating such polished daily lifestyle videos where uh like they record themselves getting up, like a princess, and like with absolutely like me like fresh face and fresh hair, and then you see them going through their routine, like the perfect routine, what should be the
Of
perfect
course, they have the
sip.
perfect breakfast. Like, I don't have time to make a breakfast like that.
I used to see that and I used to constantly think, like, my God, what am I doing in life? Because I am not doing any of these things. My breakfast doesn't look like that. I don't even have those many things in, like the entire week's breakfast doesn't have all those many things that I
Yes.
can see on their tray in one day.
Yeah, I've had that too. I also had this, like, when people like travel vloggers, bloggers. I mean, I love traveling, and then you see like all this, now they are here, then they are there, and you're like, wow, I just want to be in those wonderful, beautiful places, and how are they doing it, and all these things, and you get like a little jealous thing that comes up, and also this thing like, maybe you're not working enough, maybe you're not earning enough, maybe you should do this and that, and then you're like, no, they probably just are on a trip. Like when I travel to India, I also try to see as many places mostly as I can, right? So I'm also
And I
traveling.
think as a travel content creator, for like you've been a travel creator for a while now, and I have always really, really admired the kind of honesty with which you put your pictures. Your pictures are not, like airbrushed pictures of you standing on a sand dune with your like dupatta flying like 5 feet into the air.
Yes. Yeah.
It's getting really, really difficult now with all of these pictures out there of people traveling, because people now, influencers and creators, are not traveling for the sake of traveling, but they are traveling for the sake of creating more content. And it becomes very, very difficult to differentiate, I think, the real content from the fake content. So you, for example, like
Yeah.
go to Taj Mahal, you've seen what Taj Mahal looks like and what, like, how many people are there at any given point.
Yes.
These amazing pictures of creators, like standing in front of the Taj Mahal with their clothes flying like this, no other person in the sight, and you kind of imagine that it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
And then imagine going all the way to India to see the Taj Mahal, looking at that picture where it looks so beautiful and pristine. Taj Mahal is beautiful nonetheless,
Yeah.
but when you go inside, apart from the monument, what you also see are people. There are so many people. There are
Yes.
people everywhere,
Yeah.
and you're prepared for that.
No, not at all. Well, when I was there, also there were not so many people when we came in the morning, early morning.
Right.
But then they started to
Not
come.
early.
Then they started, and
Yeah.
we were like, I was like, okay. But I mean, it's one of the world's most famous building. How can they not be any people, right?
I think I
It's
have seen like seen it 50 times, but every single time I walk in there, it's a surreal feeling just to see how beautiful it is.
yes, yeah, it is. Yeah, I have to go there again once. I only been there once, so yeah, I want to see it again. And also seeing with the different eyes, now that 5 years have passed since my first trip,
Yes.
seeing it with different eyes. Yeah, so,
Next time you have to come to Agra with me. I'll also take you to like my favorite chart places there. Great, great places for food. So yeah, you'll have like a different perspective on the city. I've done a few years of my schooling there, so I know the city pretty
Oh,
well.
that's
So
cool.
maybe
Yeah. Yeah, I only been there for like 1.5 days, so I haven't really seen much of Agra at all.
you
And
must have been on your first trip to India, no?
yes, yeah, yeah. So that was more like a round trip anyway. So then,
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, now I see so many things differently. I was just like thinking like the other week or other day that look, what did I learn from my trips to India? Like because on every trip, I believe you learn something, and I am so much more of a more patient person, or like it's like I before I so I was thinking about like what did I learn from my trips to India, and it's before I tried to control kind of the future. Like I was more like a planner, and now it's like, or I like if it didn't work out that way, I was like kind of not angry, but like why is it not now? I'm like, okay, like what can you change? Like you can't change the situation sometimes. You just have to go with the flow and let it happen. And I
But
think
for me,
that,
like, this has been the biggest thing that I have learned in course of my life, and like with every experience that I have had, that there is very little of the outside world that you can actually control. You cannot control what happens around you. You cannot control what other people do. You cannot control how they react to something that you do.
yeah.
However, the only things that you can control are how you react to people, how do you react to things, and how you choose to stand up for yourself.
Yes.
And I feel that is something that all of us need to, like consistently work on, standing up for ourselves and being patient for ourselves. Because I often feel that, like everybody is guilty of this. You must have done this, I must have done this in life, that we give other people so many chances, we give other people so much space, we give other people so much control over ourselves, while at the same time not taking stand for ourselves, for our integrity, for our health, for our mental health, and not being patient. Like, so if you even like for people, for those of my friends who probably like start considering taking therapy or something like that, because they're not like feeling in the right state of mind, or like they're feeling depressed, or whatever,
Yeah.
generally, they often get so tired after like a couple of sessions, saying that no, no, it's not for me, it's not for me, I don't think it's working. And I always say that, like, you would be so patient towards somebody else doing something, that you would constantly tell them that it's all right, maybe try some more, maybe try a different therapist. But when it comes to you, you have no patience at all.
Yeah.
So when you're so ready to give other people all your patience, why not give it to yourself? Like, you are your best asset. You work more for yourself than anybody else will ever do.
Yeah, but we
There is no way.
always, I think we always start with the others, right? We always are more
Yes.
patient or more accepting others than we are to ourselves. It's a journey. It's really a journey. And I think it's a
Yes.
constant
Also,
journey too.
we've grown up in a society which enables this behavior. It constantly also enables putting other people. So, like, the concept of selfishness, I feel, is very, very flawed, because taking care of yourself and putting yourself over other people should not be considered selfish. I feel that's like the first thing that you need to learn to do, because if you can't take a stand for yourself, you can't take a stand for anyone else.
That's true. There's something my mom always said, like, since we are kids, or because the whole family, we are like people, we want to help everybody around us, also each other. But she always said, like, first, whatever you do, you have to trust yourself. And you have to be your own friend because you are with yourself forever. No one will stay with you forever but
The
yourself.
longest amount of time in your life you're gonna be with yourself.
Yes.
Everyone else will come and go. Leave you.
Yes, yeah. It's like you will, yeah, you are born alone and you will die alone, right? It's not that somebody's coming with you. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I really love that. And this is something that really like it got stuck in my mind or like in my heart. It's like something that is planted, although I still, try to be there for everyone. But I also like this is something I learned pretty much the last 2 years to take care of myself, to do things I love, and to also to be able to tell somebody, hey, no, sorry, I don't have the time now, I don't have the nerves right now, whatever. Like, I first have to take care of myself. So
Yes.
it's a journey.
I think, like saying no to other people for things that you are not okay with or don't have time for or would not be able to allot any bandwidth to at the moment is also something which should be absolutely normalized. We should be able to say no to things without feeling guilty. And again, that's something which I think culturally, socially is a taboo because people feel compelled to say yes to things they might not even be interested in or don't even want, but somehow they feel that like the other person would mind. But I would definitely mind somebody participating in something half-heartedly or without really wanting to,
Yeah,
rather than them telling me straight away that no, I don't think I will have the time for it or I will be able to do it.
yeah,
But I think this is something that is like, if as a business owner in my 3 years of having my own business, there is something that I keep going back to again and again and again, is that telling people that please feel comfortable saying no. Please feel comfortable telling me that this is not what you want or this is not what you will be able to do.
yeah.
Because we keep getting into these cycles constantly where somebody is doing a half-ass job because they signed up for something without really having the time for it or the mental space for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that never works for anyone. It makes you feel horrible, it makes the other person feel terrible.
Yes.
You know that whatever work you're gonna do is also not gonna really work out for either of you. It's your time is getting wasted, their time is getting wasted, nobody's happy.
Yeah, and it's not
So I think
fair for both, kind of.
yes,
Like, not being honest is not being fair. Like, to
yes,
yourself and to the other person.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. But also, a lot of people, I think, mistake being honest for being rude. And I really, really want to address this, that those two are not the same.
No.
You can be brutally honest and yet you can be kind about it.
Yes. Yeah. And you can say every truth you can say in a nice way. You don't have to go 8 rounds around the houses and all, but like you can
Yes.
always say it nice. There's always like there's no reason not to be kind. Yeah.
Will always make,
Yeah.
like, even while doing like the hardest things, you can still choose to be kind. It will just require some thought and empathy on your behalf to be able to be kind.
Yeah.
I think that's a core value that all of us should seek in
Yeah.
ourselves and in others: kindness and compassion.
Yeah, definitely. I think the same, like we keep it all comes to that at the end, like when we were talking about the social media, like what, like self acceptance, it all comes to one thing. You always have to be kind towards everything. Yeah, I really love that. I really love that. Hey, I asked you to bring an object of
Yes,
something that means a lot to you, something you that reminds you of a trip or anything. What did you bring?
yes. Give me one moment, I'll just take it out. So,
I also have something on my side.
so I actually got my sketchbook. This
Ooh.
sketchbook is something that I've been carrying with me for the last couple of years. So wherever I go, I do try to take some time out and capture how I'm feeling in that space in a painting. It can be like a very simple doodle, it can be a very simple small illustration. But just so now, when I go back through the pages of my sketchbook, I can immediately tell that, oh, this is how I was feeling when I went there, So I'll just show you a few of my
That
pieces
is
that,
such a cool idea. I wish this is something I wish I could was to draw. This is something I'm absolutely not talented. I'm a pretty good writer, but drawing?
so this is what I have made
Wow.
when I got to um, Lucknow last year.
Uh-huh.
So it was a very hard time. It was not really a travel trip, but more of, like a personal trip. But as well,
Wow.
really hard time. And expressing that here really, really made me feel a little bit calm. It made me feel like, I was able to express what I was going through, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, but hope that, things will look up at some point of time. So
Yeah,
this
I
is a
love it,
reminder
love it,
of
love
that.
it, love it.
And
Ah.
then this I made on my recent trip to Missouri. I felt so it was a trip that we took. It was just a couple of days, but we were able to take that trip because we went to a wedding nearby, and then we just took 2 days out from there. My husband and I both have like extremely busy schedules, so taking a trip together has just not been possible because of the pandemic, and then like thereafter.
Yeah.
So when we went there, we took a very just couple of days. We just like chilled in. We like caught up on our sleep, and all that I felt was, like this sense of happiness, this sense of, being able to uh, being able to feel joy and color and a certain sense of calm, and that's what I've tried to express
She
through
is
this.
absolutely beautiful. I love the earrings. And this
Yes,
the
yes. Oh
colors,
my
the
God, my hair
combinations.
really
Love
looks
it.
like quite similar to this. And also like these hair things I've been really into in the recent, like you see my pictures and all, also you'll always see me like wear something in my
Yes,
hair.
loving it.
So yeah, so there are a lot of pieces in my sketchbook
Wow.
that kind of,
Yes.
like I take it through, and that the kind of like illustrates what mood I am in at any given point of time.
Ooh. So everybody, like you see her art, like go in the description and go check it out. Like it's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this.
My
Thank you.
absolute pleasure.
Really
This
love
is
this.
something close to my heart, so I love also kind of like inviting you into this world.
Yes.
So
I
what did
have
you do?
so I have this. This is filled with shells, but this is
Oh,
something.
lovely. That's so
This
beautiful.
is like very old. Like my parents collected these shells when we went on, or maybe I did too when I was a little girl, when we went to
Hmm.
Greece. And I think I filled it up like later on. I put in some more. So I collect the seashells. Wherever I go, I bring some home. You're not allowed to do it everywhere, like not every country
Right, right, right.
you can take them home, but this is something I love the ocean, and this is something I look at it almost every day. This is like it, represents kind of like family. It represents my need to go to the ocean. And my parents actually wanted to throw this away like 2 or 3 years ago. Like they were like trying to. We always have like a flea market where like the half of the city, like in front of our houses, and they put it out, and I was like, "What are you doing? This is like my childhood memory." And so I took it home, and yeah, I have seashells. I don't know if you can see it, but there are some seashells too.
No, no,
Like
no.
in every room, I have some seashells to keep reminding me of, I don't know, this feeling of freedom, of happiness when I am at the ocean. That's like my grounding.
I feel very,
Yeah.
very, I have very similar feelings towards the ocean and the sea, and like going to like seaside places. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, there was a time I was collecting sand in glasses, but after a while, the sand doesn't really look very nice anymore. And then I
I remember
stopped.
meeting a family once when we'd gone to Thailand. I remember meeting a family from Africa, and they were carrying these tiny bottles with them, these tiny glass bottles. And so the kids were filling up sand in those bottles. So then we like started talking. So the parents told me that they do this as a practice. Anywhere they go, they have all of these tiny bottles, and they have like this huge installation in their home where they have like the world map, and they have like pouches in front of every country, and whichever countries they visit, they collect like a tiny a bottle of sand
Uh
from
huh.
there and put in those pouches. It just seemed like such a wonderful idea and
It
like a
is.
wonderful thing to have in your home.
Yeah, yeah, and to share as a family too, right? That's
Yes.
really, really sweet. Yeah. What is your biggest, not like the now I got it. Come on. Like I am good in talking, but if I prepare something, I'm like my mind is going. So yeah, do you have one special moment of a trip or any yeah a trip that like this super happy moment that you thought I think that's it, you know, like it cannot be I couldn't be any more happier.
I think there would be two actually. One I remember from my trip to Goa, my first solo trip to Goa, and I just remember because it was a trip that I had no plans for. One fine day, I just was like, I have to go. I will go. I will go tomorrow. I booked my tickets. I went, and then I remember I reached there in the evening, and right behind my hotel was the beach. So I was quite scared to go there alone at night. I'd never been to the city before. I did not know how to navigate it, or like how safe it would be. As we are always like thinking of safety first. But I took a chance and I asked the hotel people if it will be safe, and they said, "Yeah, yeah, you can go." And so I walked on the beach, and I went and I stood in front of the water, and I felt so overwhelmed that I almost like I was so happy, so content just standing there in front of the beach that I felt like I'd cry, because it just meant so much for me to be able to make this choice, to be able to afford, like financially
Yeah.
and also work wise, to make this choice and to be able to have the courage to see it through.
Yeah.
It was not a big, but it was certainly something that I had never imagined. Like, so when I was like 12, 13, I would have never been able to imagine that I would be able to do something like this one day, like on a
Yeah.
whim, go to a place, like have the money to be able to book those tickets,
Yeah.
have that money by myself to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and have the courage to travel there, to do like to make all the bookings and everything, and to do that. So I think that was certainly something, that one of the happiest moments, I would say. Other one was with on this is on my honeymoon trip. We went to New Zealand,
Yeah.
and so we of course had no idea that during Christmas, so in India during Christmas, everything is very very festive, but also very very commercially available. So all the places are working, all the restaurants are open, every place has a place that you can go to, you can get a meal, you can go out with your family. So we had a very different concept of Christmas. We thought that Christmas in a country where like is actually celebrated by everyone, it'll be much more festive. And also by festive, I mean commercially festive as well. Like there'll be Christmas fairs, and there'll be places where like the entire city would be bustling with people. So we decided to spend our Christmas in New Zealand in Christchurch, because we thought, like, look at the name of the city, it's called Christchurch. It has to be the best place for Christmas, right? So we went there, we reached Christchurch after a 5 hour drive from Lake Tekapo. And it was evening, I think about 7:30. We were super hungry, but there had not been a single place to even grab a sandwich that was open in that entire drive, because it was Christmas and everything was closed. And we reached Christchurch, and there was nothing anywhere to eat. And all the places on Google, they show that these are open. And we drove around the city looking for any place anywhere to be open.
Yeah.
We could not find anything. That night we had to buy some bread and butter from petrol pump and like eat and like next morning, we were so depressed because we called up every restaurant in the city. None of them are open. We cannot even figure out where to go for a meal, or what can we eat? Like, do we have to eat more bread butter? That's it. Then we thought that finally, like, there is no respite. We just have to, because the people who were in the BNB that we were in, they were also out. They'd just given us the key, and like they were also not there. We went to the petrol pump. The petrol pump was also closed. This is 25th of December, and we were both so hungry, and we don't know where to go. It's a different city, it's a different country altogether. We don't
Uh-huh.
know anybody there. We just decided that let's just go to the beach, and we'll see if we find something here, and like, let's just hope for the best. And I remember on the way to the beach, again, nothing was open, nothing was open. And just, I think, about half a kilometer ahead of the beach, there was this Turkish shawarma place that was open. I saw some people leave with some food from there, and I was like, let's just go see. Maybe I'll eat anything in this place, right? And so we go to that place. So there are two men from Kerala, India, running a Turkish shawarma place in Christchurch, New Zealand, who see two Indians walk inside their place on Christmas evening. And they were just so happy to find somebody, because they were working, of course, on a day that nobody else is working.
Yes.
So they not only gave us a free meal, but also like told us like a shortcut to the beach. So with that free meal in our hand, that like this bigger shawarma, we both happily like children went eating that shawarma beach just in time for the most beautiful sunset that we could
Oh,
see.
how
It
perfect.
had a thousand colors, and and we just like stopped dead in our tracks looking at the sky. And again, like I said, it was very overwhelming, because in that moment both of us realized that life will never go as you want it to. But at the end of the day, if you're patient, it will always bring you somewhere beautiful.
Yeah.
And that is a thought that really really means a lot to me. So like, that was like a very practical lesson, I feel, in that thought.
That is so, 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 so sweet. Yeah, there's always a happy ending, I think.
Yes,
Always, always. And
not the happy that you imagined, but
yes, yeah, different. Like, yeah, it never goes like this.
what was your happiest moment during a travel?
That was in Thailand, actually. I went to travel with a friend and her daughter. For 3 months, we were traveling through Thailand, and that was like maybe on our, I don't know, second month, somewhere like that. We traveled to an island where there was no real electricity, but there was electricity for like 1 or 2 hours a day where you could charge your cameras, and mobile phones were not a big thing. Well, I
Hmm.
think I had a phone, but not like an iPhone or anything. But you would take pictures usually with the camera, with the digi.
How long ago?
That was 2007. Yeah.
That's
And that island,
really long.
yeah, that island was so very special. Also, like, we stayed in some bungalows, and they were like, like all by the near the beach, or just like under the trees, and the restaurant was like open, and it was just like really, really, really beautiful. We were away from everything, and super simple. Like, our bungalow had a shower out, kind of like outside, but inside. Sometimes we had monkeys on the balcony, but it was like really like super basic. Yeah. Also, we were younger. We couldn't afford the same that we would or could afford now, and we had the how old she was 3 years old, or she just turned three. That was also around Christmas, and then they had these hammocks in between the trees. And then one evening after dinner, I was like, I'm gonna go lay there for a moment, and I was in that hammock, and then this, I don't know, something happened, and also like this pure pure joy, happiness, whatever, just came over me. I was crying then that moment, and then the daughter of my friend saw me crying in that hammock, and she came running, and she went to my hand. She went like this. She thought I was crying because I was sad or something. And then I was like, no, 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 everything is fine, everything is good. And she went to get her mom, which is a friend of mine, and she came, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I have never been so happy in my life, never. And she looked at me, she was like, what's happening? And I was like, I don't know, laying there crying, like, how can you be so happy, like,
I totally get
how,
that feeling.
like,
Yeah.
and it was such, yeah, an incredible moment. Like, I really cannot explain, like, today
Yeah,
I
I
never
totally
had
get it.
this before. Of course, like, I love those moments also, like you said, with the sunset, like when suddenly the colors start to change, and you're just like, this is our world, this is
We
our.
saw a pretty good sunset in the most unlikeliest of places. You remember that pub where you had your first meet and greet?
That's true,
I
on
think
that rooftop, in that
yes.
rooftop bar, that
And we
was
were just
beautiful.
talking when the sun started setting, and I remember a thousand colors in the sky, and we were both so happy because it was golden hour and our pictures were coming really
Yes,
nice.
they were. I still love them. Yeah, so yeah,
Golden hour is
sunsets.
amazing pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, sunsets really always, like, they fascinate me every time. Like, yeah, I think I've never seen a sunset that didn't make me happy. Like, I sit on my balcony often, like now in spring and summer, and sometimes you just see how it changes. And I'm just fascinated and thankful to be able to see these things, like, and knowing this is, like, no human being can make something so perfect. No one.
Fine. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Just like the joys of being alive.
yep, yep, yes,
Small little
yeah.
is just, it's always the small things. Yesterday I remember I was like cribbing about this to my partner, and I was saying that it feels like every day just comes and passes by, and we're not really achieving anything in the day, and like days are just passing by like that. And he just like very kindly said that it's not really about the big things, it's about the small little things.
Let me just
Like,
say something. I yesterday went to a shop, just while you say it's the little things. I yesterday went to a shop, like, we went shopping in Germany. So it's like a little, how do you call it? Like, where you can put in makeup and all, for traveling. And it says, enjoy the little things in life, for one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. I still get goosebumps
right.
now that you just say that, and I have it right next to me, ready, because I go on a little trip. And it's so
Like
true.
this was, yes, I absolutely feel this. And, it was just like such a small thing. But when you must have also come across this in the shop, you would have also felt the same as I felt when he said it. That it's so true that we constantly keep getting so, I think, like carried away and consumed with the big things in life that often forget that it's never really about the big things. We don't even remember the big things
Yeah,
most of the time.
yeah,
And there can only be so many big things.
yeah,
But like the small things that can make you happy are actually infinite. Like
yeah,
there
yeah,
can be, there can never be like any number of uh, small things that you can like put on your finger every single day. There are such tiny little pockets of joy that you kind of find.
Yeah,
But yeah, you have to be able to appreciate them, I guess, and
definitely,
develop that
definitely,
outlook does
definitely.
take some time to work.
Yes. Oh, I really loved talking to you. It's
Me
so
too.
nice.
Always nice
Yes,
talking
I
to
mean,
you.
we could talk on for like another 2 hours for sure. We can still talk on the phone, but I think we will, come to a little end with that first podcast about, I don't know how we're going to call it. It's like kindness,
Conversation.
appreciation, and I really feel very grateful that you joined. You said yes to do that. And
Me too. I feel so happy that you came up with this concept and you like asked people to chime in with their thoughts on this, because I really, really enjoyed this conversation. And of course, like you also made me think of some of the moments of my life that I am truly grateful for.
yeah,
So yeah, it sparked a lot of happiness in my day.
yeah, me too. Like, and I hope it stays on forever and a day. That, like these memories, like these little memories right now we're making, that they, on a sad day you go like, oh, we had this good conversation. And yeah, I'm really, really happy and thankful that you joined. So thank you so much. And I hope everybody out there watching this video enjoyed watching us talk,
Yes,
having
and
this
please
wonderful
subscribe
conversation.
to Kat's channel. She is a wonderful person, and I am sure listening to her work and her podcast is going to bring you a lot of food for thought and a lot of uh, happiness, like her page says.
Thank you so
It's such a
much.
cute name that you've chosen for your page, like Sparkly
Sparkly
Complex. It's
complex.
really
Yes, because I think we all need a spark, and we also, life is, like kind of like a compass. Sometimes you can get, you need a guide, but you can also go to other directions. And combined with sparkly as of happiness and compass as of traveling, that's me.
you, totally you. It's a very
Yes,
good nature name for exactly the kind of person that you are.
yes. So thank you so much. And I talk to you super soon.
Yes, me too.
Okay,
Okay, have a
bye.
rest,
You too.
bye.
Bye.